AI is everywhere, and let's be honest, it's getting more powerful by the minute. So the really big question is, how do we make sure we're building it to be safe, trustworthy, and, ethical? It's time we move beyond just talking about good AI and actually start putting it into practice. To really get why this is so critical, let's just look at a real-world story. Back in 2015, Amazon built an AI tool to help them sort through resumes. The idea was great. Find the top talent. Faster. But the problem? The AI taught itself that male candidates were better. It actually started penalizing resumes that had the word women's in them and even downgraded graduates from 2 all-women's colleges. It's a classic case of good intentions going completely off the rails. And look, Amazon is definitely not alone here. We have tons of documents, white papers, and frameworks for ethical AI. So if we kind of know what we should be doing, why do we keep seeing these huge failures? What are we missing? Well, the heart of the problem really boils down to what researchers call the AI governance gap. It's not that we don't have good ideas, it's that we're missing the bridge to get those great ideas into the real world. Think about it like this. On one side of a huge canyon, you've got principles. These are the noble, high-level goals we all agree on, like fairness and transparency. Most companies have a list of these somewhere. But way over on the other side, you've got practice, the actual, concrete, day-to-day rules for the engineers and managers building this stuff. There's a massive gap between the two, and that's where things fall apart. So the solution has a name: responsible AI governance. And this isn't just another buzzword or some lofty document. It's a complete system. It's a set of active, enforceable practices that guide an AI from the first sketch on a whiteboard all the way through its launch and for its entire life. It's all about making responsibility something you can't just skip over. Okay, so before we build the how, we need to be crystal clear on the what. What exactly are we aiming for here? Well, these 7 principles are the foundation. They're the North Star for any real AI governance framework. This table lays it all out beautifully. We need accountability, so there's an actual person responsible when things go wrong. We need fairness to avoid exactly what happened with that Amazon tool. And of course, human oversight, so we always have the final say. Then you've got privacy to protect our data and robustness to make sure the AI is safe and secure. Then there's transparency, no more black boxes. We need to understand how it makes decisions. And finally, social and environmental well-being, to make sure this tech is actually helping humanity and the planet. Right. So having these 7 fantastic goals is great. But here's the thing. A list of goals is not a plan. It doesn't tell a developer or a product manager what to do on a Tuesday morning. To make these principles real, you need an actual framework for action. So how do we build this into something practical? How do we construct that bridge we were talking about? Researchers have laid out a really clear, actionable framework to get us from those principles to real-world practice. And this framework can be broken down into 3 core types of practices. You've got structural, procedural, and relational. Just think of them as the 3 main pillars of that bridge that's going to get us from abstract ideas to concrete results. First up are these structural practices. This is basically the org chart stuff. It all comes down to answering one simple question: who is in charge? It means formally assigning roles, creating a real AI governance committee that has actual teeth, and defining exactly who gets to approve, reject, or audit an AI project. You see, without this structure, accountability is just a word. Okay, next up, procedural practices. This is the rule book. If the first part was about who, this is all about the what. What are the actual rules we follow every single day? This includes clear processes for handling data, step-by-step workflows for testing models for bias, and having a plan for what to do when something inevitably goes wrong. This is where those high-level principles become daily checklists. And finally, we have relational practices, which are all about the people and the culture. This step answers the question, how do we work together to make this happen? It means training everyone so they speak the same language when it comes to responsible AI, breaking down the walls between the legal, tech, and ethics teams, and creating clear ways for anyone to raise a red flag. So we have our framework, but it's really important to remember that no organization builds this stuff in a bubble. It's all shaped by a much wider context. A company's governance plan is always being pushed and pulled by outside forces. You've got what society expects, you have new regulations popping up like the EU's AI Act, but it's also shaped from the inside by the company's own culture and its values. A company that already cares about ethics is going to have a much easier time with this. Now, I know what you might be thinking. This sounds like, A lot of work. And you're not wrong. It is. So, why should any organization invest all this time and money to build out a governance framework? Is it just about avoiding bad press? Not even close. The payoffs are huge. For the business itself, it leads to way more trust from customers and partners. For employees, it actually reduces anxiety about AI and boosts job satisfaction. And for all of us, for society, it builds a positive reputation and means people are more willing to adopt the technology safely. It's a true win-win-win. So here's the bottom line. Responsible AI isn't just a defensive move or some boring compliance checkbox. In today's world, being the company that people can actually trust with their AI, well, that's a massive competitive advantage. Okay, let's bring this all home. We started with a pretty big problem, didn't we? That huge gap between the principles we talk about and the practices we see in the real world. And we've walked through a real solution. For really the first time, we have a clear, practical roadmap. We know we need to combine the what, those 7 core principles, with the how, the structural, procedural, and relational practices that actually bring them to life. The path is finally there. Which leaves us with one final and pretty crucial question. The framework exists, the benefits are clear, we know how to build safer, more ethical AI. So now, the choice falls to the organizations that are building our future. They have the map. The question is, will they follow it?